Hey everyone, this is Weijian, the old school meeple, and today we are going to be playing through In the Shadows, Resistance in France, 1943 and 1944. This is a game published by GMT Games and designed by Dan Bullock and Joe Schmidt. As you can see, it's not your traditional hex and counter war game. It's a pretty small map with three distinct districts, which you can see in white, red, and blue, and each district is further subdivided into 4 zones numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, the occupying German forces has 2 different types of units. One is the black cubes, which represent German soldiers, and the blue cubes represent the milice, which are a sort of paramilitary organization that's been set up by the Vichy government in order to sort of control the French population during the occupation. And then for your side, you play as the resistance, and you have these yellow marquee discs and the red resistance cells. So I've gone and set up all the units on the map for the setup, and what you need to know is that 2 of the red resistance discs are actually informants, and you won't know that until they get uncovered during the course of the game. And basically once they get uncovered, they become occupying units as well, and you lose the use of them. You also have this 3 red cubes here in the authority track that will get unlocked as you lower the authority of the occupying German units. And how you lower the authority is by carrying out a sabotage action, and every successful sabotage action will move this disc 1 space, and every time it makes a complete round, it will lower the track by 1. And basically, when it lowers the track, there are numbers to the left of this authority track, and that number represents the number of units you need to have on the board at the end of round 9 to determine if you've won the game or not. Now, for the solitaire game, you also have a persona for your solitaire team, and today I've randomly drawn the Groupe France de Combat. Apologies for the pronunciation. So our special ability is that successful ambush actions will remove German units from play instead of simply placing them back in the grey area. And also, when I'm taking ambush actions, I may draw a second resolution card after seeing the first, but I must accept the result of the second card, so could be useful. But that also means I have a secondary victory condition of successfully ambushing and removing at least 5 German units from the game. So that's something that I will definitely have to work towards as well. The game is actually pretty straightforward. Every turn, I will have 2 cards in my hand, of which I must choose 1 to play, and the German bot will flip 1 card as well. And then we will compare this black number here. That black number will determine the number of action points that side gets for that round, but it also determines initiative. So the side with the higher number will then determine which side goes first, and if I have the higher number, I can choose if I want the bot to go first or I can go first. But if the bot has the higher number, then it will make me go first if there are no uncovered resistance units, but it will go first if there are uncovered resistance units, because it's going to want to try and arrest those units. It's quite straightforward, and we will use this resolution deck here in order to determine if the bot or we succeed in any of our actions. And there is also a solitaire location deck to determine which area the bot will target or which units it will move from if there's more than 1 that's tied. So it's pretty intuitive, and I would say let's just jump in and you'll see how it works pretty easily. So for round 1, I've got the starting hand of Pearl Witherington and Jean Moulin, and this is a pretty good starting hand because Pearl Witherington is a really great card because it gives you the Pearl Witherington counter, which can be placed in any one zone, which is red or black, which is black is here and red is here. So zone is an individual numbered zone. And what this counter does is that for once a round, you can flip this marker to ignore a drawn resolution card for the action and draw a second card, but you have to accept the result of that second card. So that essentially gives you a second chance to succeed in an action in a zone, but of course you may fail even worse if the second card has a worse result. So I think it's a no-brainer that I will go with Pearl Witherington for my first card, and we'll flip the top card of this to show the bot action. So it's got Clandestine Press, which is a red band card, which means that it is actually a resistance event, so the bot is not going to perform the event here. So as you can see, this has 5 action points and the bot also has 5, so it's a tie. So I can choose, so I'm going to get to choose the bot to go first, so it gets 5 action points. And how the board determines its actions is that there's a flow chart at the back of the book, which is pretty intuitive, and it basically has a set of priorities to follow through, and then it will also tell you, depending on how many action points are remaining, what are the options that it was going to run through. So as we can see, there are no uncovered resistance units in any district, so we would then move on to the next one to see if there are covered units in the district matching the event card suit. So as you can see, the event card suit for the board card is red, which means that it's here, and we do have a single uncovered unit here in zone 4 of the red zone. So we can see that if there were 2 occupation units in the zone, it will be targeted first, but there are none. So if there's 1, it will be 5th, and if there's resistance unit is lone, which it is, then it will be 6th, which means this is the priority. And so we can see that for 5 action points, the first thing it's going to try to do is to move a German unit from an adjacent zone. So as we can see, there are essentially 2 possibilities. It could move 1 German unit from R1 over to P4, or it could move a black German unit from P1 over to P4. And because there's a tie, that's just these 2 zones. So because there's a tie, we would draw the solitaire resolution deck, location deck, and we can see that the first one on the left is blue, which means that it will move from R1 to P4. So it will spend 1 action point and move that. So it's 4 action point left. And the second option, so we move down to the next level. So as you can see, this was for 5 action points, but now it's got down to 4 action points. So the first option it's going to do is to attempt to arrest, but it cannot do so because the unit is not uncovered. So the second option it was going to take is to attempt to uncover. So it costs them 1 action point to uncover. So we will spend 1 action point, and this is when we will draw the resolution card. So here we can see for uncover, it says failure, which is good, which means that they have failed to uncover the unit, and I will keep trying again as long as there are covered unit, as long as there are resistance units in the same zone, which is the target zone. And for ease of marking, they've given a black marker so you can see which is the target zone. So it's going to spend 1 more action point to try and uncover, and here it says if it's a black unit, it's a failure. If it's a blue unit, it's a success. So because it's a black unit, it's a failure again, which is good. So it has 2 more action points, and it's going to try to uncover again, which is a failure. I'm having some great draws here, and for its final action point, it is going to try and uncover again, and it is still a failure. So that's great. The bot has essentially accomplished nothing this turn, and it's very rare to have a good turn in this game. So now it's my turn. I will first execute the event, which is to place the marker for this event in any red or black zone. So I'm going to take the Pearl Witherington marker, and I'm going to place it in this zone, and then I'm going to give myself 5 action points. Now, because this is a blue card, so it means that I can take actions in the blue zone for their normal action point cost, but if I take actions outside of that blue zone, then it's going to cost me more. So maybe on second thought, I will move this here, and what I will do is I'm going to spend my first action point plus a penalty to sabotage in this zone to try and move that authority marker down. So what you do is you take a card and you see what action the sabotage is, and this is a success. So I'm going to move this marker down, and now it says that covered moves cost 1 action point, which is exactly what I wanted, because I'm going to spend 1 action point to move this marquee unit over here to R4, which could be a dangerous move, but I'm trying to ambush the Germans there, and then I'm going to spend 1 AP to carry out an ambush action. So I'm going to reveal the card, and this is a great result. So I can choose to remove a German unit or a milice, and I'm definitely going to choose to remove a German unit because it is part of the requirements for my secondary victory condition. And with 1 more action point, what I'm going to do is I'm then going to move away back here as if nothing had happened. And that is it for the round. So at the end of the round, there's the cleanup phase. So any blue units that are in the blue zone will get that have been flipped up will be flipped down to be covered again. And I can also add 1 additional marquee unit, which I will do so right now by placing it here in R2. And then I will also well, if I flip the Pearl Witherington marker, then I would have flipped it back at the stage, but it's not. So we move on to round 2 right now. And I will discard this card. I will draw back up to a hand size of 2. And I have International Brigades and Jean Moulin. So I'm thinking now that perhaps I'm going to try and... Oh, I forgot to advance the... Oh, I did advance the sabotage. Okay, I'm going to try and sabotage more again. So I'm going to play Jean Moulin this time round. And the bot is going to have... so it's got its own grey band card, which is Nazi Reprisals. So it has 3 action points. So I'm higher. So again, I will choose for the bot to go first. So it gets 3 action points. And since it is a German event, it will execute the event. So when this card is played, the occupation bot will add 1 German unit to the black district. So we use a location card to determine which zone it appears in. So it is zone 2, but zone 2 already has a German unit, and in fact 3 of them have German units, so it can really only go into one of the zones, which is here, zone 4. Now, one of the rules of this game is that each zone can only have at most 1 German and 1 milice unit. So no more German units can be added to the black zone for now, essentially. So for 3 action points, again, we look at the chart. And first, we will determine if there are any covert units in the district matching the suit. Now, for a German cross suit, it's a WoW, which means all the zones on the board are essentially matching. So it will then look, so wherever I have an uncovered unit, that is a matching zone or district. So do I have an uncovered unit in a zone with 2 occupation units? No. Is there any with 1 occupation unit? Yes. So that's this red one here in P4 and this red one here in M4. So to determine which is the target zone for this turn, I will draw a location card, and we have blue, then red. So red is going to be the target zone. So again, P4 is the target zone. So with 3 action points, its first attempt is going to arrest, which it can't. So it's going to try and attempt to uncover again. So we will draw a resolution card and uncover. Black is a failure. That is great. So there was 1 action point. It's going to try and do it again. And it is a failure again. This is so good. And with its last action point, it is going to try and uncover. It would have been a success if there was an alert token, but there isn't, so it is a failure. And that's it for the bot's turn, which was great. There was 2 turns in which the bot did absolutely nothing, and I really need to capitalize on this. So my turn, Jean Moulin says that for the remainder of the round, sabotage actions in the black zone do not place alert markers regardless of the results. So that is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first spend 1 action point to move this unit over here, because covert moves now only cost 1 action point. And then I'm going to use 1 action point to sabotage in this zone M4, and it will be a success. So I will move this 1, and I will put an alert token here. Now, the alert token means that I cannot sabotage there until the alert token goes away. And then after that, I'm going to try and sabotage again here. It is a success. This is going very well, and because I've moved the whole thing 1 round, the authority marker goes down by 1, and this red unit now is available for me to choose, and I'm going to mix it up. So again, I don't know which is the unit that just came in. So now it means that I need to have at least 7 units on the board by the end of turn 9 to ensure that I win. And then I still have 2 action points, which is pretty good. There are no alert markers there, but I cannot sabotage again unless I pay a penalty, which I might. Well, the penalty is to uncover the unit, and I'd rather not do that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 1 to move this over here, and I'm going to spend the last 1 to move out of the zone with the alert marker, and that's it. So we move on now to round 3, but before that I'll just do the end of turn thing. So I'm going to do this. I'm not going to place any marquee for this round, and I'm going to take the Pearl Witherington counter Well, it stays here. That's right. All right, so I'm going to draw back up to 2. And I've got escape. Escape is good. But I have no units that are here yet. So I'm going to save escape for a later round. So this round I'm going to play International Brigades. And the board gets Betrayal. Oh, okay. So it's a 6 and a 6. I'm going to let the board go first. And this is actually a really good time for this board to draw this card, because it says to remove the resistance operations marker back to the lower authority space. But it's already on the lower authority space, which is great, which means that the event does nothing. But the bot does have 6 action points, so they may actually accomplish something this turn. So let's see, 6 action points. Where's the target zone? The possible target zones are, because it's a while, all the zones are matching, so it could be M1 or M3. So we're going to draw a card here to determine if it's, so 3 is the one, so M3 is the target zone. It's got a black cube there. It's got 6 action points. So the first option is to move a German. Then the second option is to move a milice. So we're going to spend 1 action point to move a milice. So the milice could come from R4 or M2. So we're going to draw, see whether it's from the black zone or the blue zone. And it's the black zone. So the milice from M2 is going to move over into M3 for 1 action point. And as it has 5 action points, it's going to try and attempt to uncover. So we're going to spend 1 to uncover. Now, the bot is always trying to get 1 of each unit into the same zone, because that gives it the best chance of uncovering and arresting. So this is probably going to be bad for me. So as you can see, it is a success because of a blue cube, so which means this gets uncovered. And well, what do you know? It is a resistance unit. It was an informant. So this unit now becomes essentially an occupying unit, which means it joins the side of the board, and it makes it more likely that bad things will happen if I do things in M3. And this actually stops becoming a target zone. It has 4 more action points left. And so the next zone that would be targeted would be M1, which is here. And because it only has 4 action points, it will now attempt to uncover first. So we're going to spend 1 action point to uncover. It's a failure for black. It's going to spend 1 more to uncover. It is a failure. 1 more. It is a failure because there's no alert token. And for its last action point, it is a success. But because it was his last action point, this guy is going to not be arrested, which is great. Which means that I can now try and flip him back. So first, I will execute the event on my card, which is I may move each marquee to an adjacent zone. So I'm going to move this here and this here, which is good. And then I have 6 action points to be spent mainly in the black zone. So what I'm going to do is, this is a little bit tricky. Now I'm going to spend 1 to flip and hide him, but because there is a unit there, I will need to spend an additional action point. Then I'm going to attempt to sabotage, and that is a success. So I will move this by 1, but I also have to place an alert marker. And then I'm going to spend 1 to move a covert move, because as we can see, covert moves cost 1 AP now. I'm going to spend 1 more to sabotage again. And well, it is a success. I'm getting some really lucky draws for this game. And we place an alert token here. And last but not least, I'm going to spend 1 to move in here. Well, why do I do that? Because I have the Pearl Witherington card there, and as you can remember, the Pearl Witherington card actually lets me flip the marker to ignore a drawn resolution card for the action. So that's it for my 6 action points. So that's the end of the round. I discard this card. I draw back up to 2 cards, and I think I'm not going to place the marquee for now. So we move on to round 4. And because I still have no use for the escape event, I guess I will just use Melis Reprisals as my card. And the bot is going to draw from guard. This is not good. So when the card is played, the occupation bot will use a location card to randomly select and uncover one marquee. So since the bot has a higher number, it's going to make me, and there are no uncovered units on the board, it's going to make me go first. So I have 3 action points, which is really little. So I first have to execute the event. So when this card is played, the occupation bot to add 1 Melis unit to the black district. So there are 3 possible locations. We'll draw a location card, and it is 1, which is here. So it's going to add 1 of its Melis units here. And then I will have 3 action points to spend. What can I do? Well, maybe I should get out of that zone. Yes, so I'm going to spend I'm going to spend 1 to move this red unit here. Then, because it's meant to be used for black zones, I'm going to try and sabotage in here. Yes, so that's going to cost me 2 action points. And let's see, it is a success, but we place an alert token. And this goes another round, so this drops down. So we are doing pretty well, all things considered. But now it's the bot's turn, and I don't have a good feeling about this because it has 7 action points. And first, it was going to try and randomly select and uncover 1 marquee. So there are also 2 marquee here, so it will be either zone 3 or zone 4, and the first one is zone 3. So this is going to be uncovered. And then it's going to start moving in. Well, actually, because there is a unit here together with the marquee, it will be the first one. And because it's 7 action points, it's first going to try and move a German in. And because there's only 1 German from M3, it's going to spend 1 AP and move this German in here. And then for its next action, it's going to try and attempt to uncover. So it's going to uncover. Oh, I forgot to check if there was any reshuffle cards, but I don't think there was. Yeah, there weren't. So it's going to uncover. And it's a success, which is bad. And as next action, it's going to spend 1 to try and arrest. And the arrest is, wow, it's a failure. So lucky me. Oh, I forgot, arresting marquee takes 2 action points, so it actually had to spend 1 more. So it's going to try and arrest again by spending 2 action points, and it is a success, unfortunately. So I've lost 1 marquee unit. It goes in here. And because it has 1 action point left, it's going to try and arrest and uncover, but it can't, so that is the end of the board action phase. Well, all in all, not too bad, I suppose, but I've lost 1 marquee unit, and we move on to round 5. So I'm going to discard this card, and then I will draw 1 card, which is Simone Seguin. This is good. Right, sorry, I forgot to add a marquee from the end of my round, so I'm going to add 1 here. Now, and let's see, so what I'm going to do is I will definitely play this for now, and then the bot is going to play false papers. Interesting. So until the end of the next round, ignore uncover results when taking sabotage and recruit actions. Okay, I think that's interesting. I will. Well, the bot has 7 action points, but because I have an uncovered unit, it is going to go first, right? And so it is going to target the red zone first, but there's nothing in the red zone, so it's only the blue zone, which means that it will be a flip to decide whether it's going to target R3 or R1. So we're going to look at this, and it is 1. So this is the target zone. It has 7 action points, And so it's first going to try and move a German for 1, which is here. Then it will try and move a Milice, which is 1, which is here. And then it's going to attempt to arrest, which it can't, and it's going to attempt to uncover for 1. And it's a success. So this is uncovered. Then it is going to attempt to arrest by spending 2 action points, and the arrest is a failure because there's no collaborator on it. This is good, so fingers crossed. It's going to spend its last 2 action points to arrest, and that is unfortunately it is a success. So that means that this unit goes away, and I still haven't drawn. Well, I have drawn the reshuffle card, so actually I should have reshuffled. Not a worries, we'll do it now. And that is the end of the bot's turns. So unfortunately, that means that I can't use Simone Seguin's action to move a covert marquee to an adjacent zone and perform a free ambush action. So that kind of sucks. But nevertheless, I have 6 action points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and so I'm going to move this here, and then I'm going to move this here. Then I'm going to spend 1 AP to try and ambush. And it is a success. I remove the German unit. And then I'm going to spend... so I have 3 action points left. I'm going to spend 1 to move it here. And then I'm going to spend 1 more to try and ambush again. It's a failure. But I have the special ability to draw a second restitution card, which I may do so. And it is also a failure. And finally, I'm going to move this unit here. That's going to be tricky, and I hope that it's not going to catch me. So that's the end of round 5. I'm going to place the last marquee unit here. And then I will draw back up to 2. And we're at round 6. So just taking stock of the situation now, we do have 4 units on the board, and I need 7 right now, but if I can get it to go 1 more round, I get 6. And we still have the false papers in place until the end of the next round, so I can actually ignore uncover results when taking sabotage and recruit action, so I might want to recruit some this turn. Alright, let's see. I am going to I think I need to use Simade or Simad, and then the Germans will have Josephine Baker. Okay. We have the same number of units of action points, so I'm actually going to choose to go first this time, because I want to hide my unit. So I'm going to use this in 2 adjacent zones. So it's just this one. It's going to flip to its covered side, and then because it's a white, that makes it pretty tricky actually. So I'm going to spend 1 to move. Well, I'm going to spend 2 because you need 2 to move a covered unit. Then I'm going to spend 1 to sabotage, which is a success. Oh, unless there is a... Oh man, no, that failed. So I can't do it again. So I'm going to spend 1 to try and recruit. So I'm going to draw... Oh, card. Sorry, I'm going to draw from here. In the recruit, yes, I get to recruit one red unit, and it goes in the zone here. Okay, so that's it for my turn, and now it's the bot's turn. It has 4 action points, and this time the target district is the blue district. So there is a choice of 2, but since this has an alert marker, so this is actually going to be, it's going to be a tiebreaker. So it has 4 action points, which means that it's first going to try and move a Melisse in. So it could come from M3 or R1. So we're going to draw one, and it's the red black district, which has priority, so it's moving in here. And then it has 3 action points left. It's going to attempt to uncover, so it's going to spend 1, and it is a success because it is a Melisse. And then it is going to try and make an arrest for 1 action point. It is a failure, and because an arrest was attempted, the alert marker is removed. And for its last action point, it's going to try and arrest again, and it is a failure. So fortunately, that has helped a lot. Oh, I also forgot that I can draw 2 cards from the event deck, select 1 to keep, and return the other to the event deck. So honestly, neither are great, but this is going to have more action points, so I'm going to return this. And this is discarded, and because I still have 2 cards, I don't draw an additional card for this round, and we move on to round 7. I need to try and go first, so I'm going to try and use Nazi reprisals, and then the bot gets Nazi reprisals as well. Okay, so I'm higher, so I'm going to go first. Well, no, actually, you know what? I'm going to let the bot go first. So it's got 4 action points, and I have an uncovered unit here, and it has a Melisse here. So it's going to try and arrest the Melisse first. So it's going to spend 1 to arrest, which is a success, unfortunately. Okay, so that's gone. So that's no longer the target zone. And then now we move on to other zones. There are none with the units, with German units in them, so we'll draw a card to determine the color of the zone. So it's red. So they're going to try and get to this unit. And for 3 action points, they're first going to try and move a Melisse. And then they're going to attempt to uncover, which is a success. And because you need 2 action points to arrest a Marquis, it can't, because it only has 1 action point left, so that's its turnover. So for me, I have 5 action points. Oh, but I needed to play this event first, so it actually needed to add a German unit to the red district. So first, that German unit would have been in zone 4, which wouldn't have changed anything. Okay, so now I'm going to move. I have this, so it's going to add a German unit to the blue district, and that is going to be added in zone 4, which is zone 1, nope, and zone 2. So the last German unit goes in here. And I'll shuffle the location deck because it's been exhausted. Now with 5 action points, I think I need to start eliminating the German units. So I'm going to spend 1 to move here. No, that's the target marker. So this is the Marquis. I'm going to spend 1 to ambush, which is uncover. It's already uncovered. I'm going to spend 1, 1, and 1 to ambush, which is a failure. Well, this is not looking good at all. That's it for the end of turn 7 actually, and so now we move on to round 8. So I draw back up here. Now I'm going to play escape because I'm going to try and need to get more of my units on board. And then the German is going to get Melis reprisals, which is 6, so it's going to go first because, I've got an uncovered marquee there. So it has 6 action points, and it's going to look at the target zone first. So if there is an uncovered resistance unit in any district, which is here, and it's got a German there, it's going to try and arrest. So it's going to try and arrest. Well, first it will attempt to move a Melis in. So it spends 1, and this Melis comes in here. It spends 1 more to try and arrest, which is a success. And then we have to find a new target zone. So that's 1, 2. So that will be the red and the blue zone. So it's going to be here. So because it already has a German unit in there, it's going to attempt to uncover first. This is 1, which is a failure. Spends 1 more, which is a failure. It spends 1 more, a failure. And finally 1 more, it is a failure, which is good. But it also had to add a Melis unit to the blue district. Sorry about that. So zone 3, then zone 4, which is here. And now it is my turn. I get 3 action points for the red zone. Well, that's going to be tricky because I don't have any units in the red zone. I could recruit in the red zone, but only in a zone with the resistance unit. That is not good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 1 to move, 1 to move, and 1 to recruit. So I do get to recruit here, and I have 4 units on the board. That's not looking good at all. Oh, but I could actually recruit from the pool here, so I can put this here. And that's it. And this is the last turn for round 9. So I will play one of these cards and the German will play the other card. So I'm going to play Gestapo and they will get least reprisals. So I'm going to make the Germans go first. So they will add 1 Melis to the red district, which is zone 1, which is here. And they get 4 action points. So the red zone, they are going to target that. So they already have a Melis there. So they're going to attempt to uncover. So they're spending 1 to uncover, which is a failure. They'll spend 1 more to uncover, which is a success. Oh, it's a collaborator. So they're going to try and uncover the other one, which is a failure. And finally uncover, which is a failure. Wow. Almost would have been a great result. But it's my turn now. So I'm going to have 7 action points, but I will randomly select and uncover 1 resistance cell, which is in the red zone, which is this one. And let's see, well, this is the final round, and I need to, even if I have 2 successful sabotage actions, I'll still need 6 units on board, which I only have 3. And it's not going to be enough. So it looks like this is a failure and I've lost the game. This is not an easy game by any means. You do need some luck. I actually had some pretty good luck at the start, but I think I made some pretty bad moves in the middle of the game, and so I lost. But I'm going to come back and try this again and see if I can beat it. I hope you all enjoyed that playthrough. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to just leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you very much.